This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 RGX, $419 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in that corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. See, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
Take a journey to our Caribbean paradise at Toyota of Hollywood. Get in the groove with great deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a Corolla, not $24,000, just $17,975. You'll be cruising and chilling with super low 2.99% financing. Feel the rhythms of the Caribbean today at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive the new 2024 MDX, $469 a month during our 16th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. It's a Tuesday. Yes, sir. It's a Tuesday. We are ready to rock and roll. Got some stuff to talk about. Got some people to talk with. Obviously, as David Furones and Manny Navarro will stop by for their usual hangouts. So we'll have some fun with them. And then we've got, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend. He is mastering the platform. And, of course, we encourage all to smash the like button. Wow, this is like there's only 29 watching right now, so it's a small group. But there's 24 likes already. So that's strong. That's strong. That shows that, it's a good habit. You get into the show, hit the like button. It gets it going more. It gets more people involved. It sends it out to others out there. That way we can spread the love and grow the family. We're over 21,000. Let's head out to 22 now. Let's go.
So appreciate all of you out there as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, man. Yes. Let's see. Where do we start today on the program, huh? Where do we start? By the way, market-wise, I always love talking about the markets. And just in case, for those of you that are just tuning in right now, the Dow is down 131 points. The S&P is up almost 13 points. And the NASDAQ is barely up right now. On the crypto market, well, things are slightly better as crypto is Bitcoin's over 57,000 right now. It's up over 2%. So it's at 57,263. The amazing part was that Germany sold nearly $1 billion yesterday, like 930 million, was it? 900 and where was it? I know I had the notes somewhere. It's like 930 million yesterday, nearly $1 billion. And the market didn't flinch. That would have been something that would have given it a nice dip, and it did not move. And that's because BlackRock and all the other ETFs and people around the world, you and me, the smart people, that is, the Kyle Cockrells of the world and myself, the Lisas of the world and myself. Is Brooklyn Rob in there somewhere? I don't know if he's watching. The people that I know that are crypto people. We have taken advantage, right? You know what I'm saying? Ocala Joe, I know there's a whale out there. Ray Martinez, there's another whale out there. These are the, we're buying what Germany is selling, which is amazing, dude. What stock, what asset could you put in $1 billion and it doesn't move? $1 billion. Doesn't matter if it's Tesla or Microsoft or whatever. If you sell $1 billion of anything, of a major stock, of a major crypto, it's supposed to move and move big. Remember, even Tesla or any of these stocks, they're not at $57,000. That's amazing, dude. So that's because the smart people are watching the stupid people. And, you got a whole, and I saw Kyle, I think, early on the show. I think, where was it? I love him. This is all normal for crypto market. We may even go lower, but it's all to shake the weak hands out. The big institutions want cheap crypto. Don't sell it to them now. Hold on for dear life. He's right. Because you're going to feel so glorious. As Will Ferrell would say in old school, it's glorious. It's glorious. And that's what when it explodes, you're gonna feel like Will Ferrell in old school. It's glorious, and that's what's gonna happen. So you've got to hang in there. But tell me what asset in the world that you unload $1 billion and it moved up. It moved up. We're in the 55 range. They dumped $1 billion yesterday. We're in 57. What asset in the world does that? It doesn't exist because there's only one. Because there's only one asset that is the best asset in the world to own. And it's in its early stages, only 15 years in, and it's already proven more ruthless. It has proven to survive everything from pandemics to wars to economic crashes. You name it has gone on in 15 years and has survived all and thrived and just continues. Bank in China just collapsed right now. Right now, it's in the headlines. Go check it out. A bank in China. There's a whole bunch of people trying to get their money. Prepare. That's coming here. You already seen a bunch of banks already go down. Well, you're going to see a lot more. So, just saying. Impressive. Easily over $1 billion, because if Germany just sold 930, you have weak hands selling some other, so you probably went over $1 billion yesterday, and it went up. It went up. You know, all you got to do is, let me see, just to give you a little, you know, I don't know how much more I can prove on this, right? It's just, it's amazing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. One more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. Here we go. Big O has got the flow. So check this out. At 12:30, okay, yesterday, we were at 55,530. Yesterday, Germany dumps $1 billion. We're at 57. Okay. So, you know, not a financial advisor, never have been, never will be. I'm like the 7-Up guy, never had it, never will. Just sitting there. I got all kinds of you know, culture references for you there, folks. All throughout. You picking up on all of these? We go from Will Ferrell to the 7-Up guy? Come on. We're working hard for you here, weaving pop culture all over the place. No, but seriously. Tell me what asset in the world you dump $1 billion and it goes up. That's all you need to know, man. That's all you need. Something's going on, and if you haven't picked up on it yet, can't help you. Can't help you. By the way, you know, we like finding a MVP of the night. And yeah, I gotta say that the MVP, sometimes it happens at night, sometimes it happens in the day, sometimes it happens in the morning. But one way or another, you do end up with the Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
All right. Bill Zito. Bill Zito, baby. You got to give Bill Zito again the Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. Adam Boquist, he ends up signing the defenseman, a former first-round pick. He's got his brother Jesper here. So he continues to add, and all these guys, I want you, because see, last year I made this mistake. They had some injuries, and they were, you know, they had some new guys, some guys we hadn't heard of and all that, and they bring them in and 1-year deals and stuff, and you're like worried a little bit. I was worried. You could go check the video. I was worried about their defense at the beginning of the season. You can go check the video of last year. And sure enough, the defense was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? And that's because Bill Zito knows what he's doing. And he continues. He's added a couple of other defensemen. I forgot the name of the other dude that he added just the other day. That's also comes in highly touted. I'm just brain farting now because I'm not a hockey expert, so I'm not going to remember the guy's name. But they signed another guy the other day that they absolutely love, and a lot of people. And I told you about the Greer kid that they got to replace Lomberg, and he's bigger and younger. But there's another guy, man, that they signed that they liked a lot. And so these are guys that they're going to grow on us because we don't know them. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm sure there's a couple of you out there that are real hockey, like full-time, like hockey fans, that you follow the entire league and you know these guys a little bit better than we do, because personally I follow the Panthers, and then I casually follow the rest of the league. Very, I'm never going to bullshit you and say, oh, yeah, no, I know my hockey. I know my Panthers, but I can't say I know the NHL. So, but I know Boquist's, brother. So just another piece where Zito puts together, the defense little by little as the offseason goes on. And it's going to be exciting to watch this upcoming season, because you've gone to back-to-back Stanley Cups. You won the second one, so that really justifies the first one, right? The fact that you got there, you were justified because you are the real deal by getting back. And throughout the season, you proved that you were the best team in the league, and you've got the best general manager in the league. And as long as Bill Zito continues to add quality people, whether it's the defense, whether it's repairing that fourth line that suffered some losses, he's going to find ways to fill those holes. And I'm excited to get to know the new guys, because if they like them, then we should like them too. So Bill Zito, just like William Quigley, Mike, and all the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, they are our MVPs. Go check out all their work in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. I mean, South Florida is so much more beautiful thanks to the folks at Cutter's Edge Pro. And we are in hurricane season, storm season. So if you need some maintenance, you want to clean up some trees hanging around your home, wires, all that, don't get up on ladders and roofs, please call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622. They'll do it for you. Maintenance also for your landscaping, or enhance. That's what we should do here in South Florida. We should enhance our landscaping. We need to take it to the next level. You need to have as many trees as possible in your home. You need your home to surround yourself with as much greenery as possible. You want the plants to absorb the heat. You don't want your home to absorb the heat. You want that way your home, your AC inside works less. And if you have more trees hanging around your backyard, you can actually hang around your backyard, because then the temperature drops 10, 15 degrees. All of a sudden, hey, you know what? It's all right. And then with the trees, you might get a little bit of a breeze too. So really, not only does it increase the value of your home, not only does it look better, but when you talk about saving energy, when you talk about having a better standard of life, that's what all that greenery helps, man. Call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you, man. Ask for William Quigley, man. He's the man. 954-472-0622. And Bill Zito, our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
All right. Rojas, tanking. As Bitcoin continues to drop, the rest of our economy will start to drop like the real estate market and stock market. Bitcoin may drop down to 19. No, it won't. There's no shot it'll drop to 19. There's no shot. Could it go to 50, 49, maybe? There's a shot, but I doubt it. I doubt it because we're getting through the Germany stuff. The Mount Gox stuff will take months, so it'll be spread out over time. Plus, rate cuts are coming, so that's going to ignite. So I don't think that that'll happen. The stock market is carried by 7 stocks. Really, the rest of the stock market isn't really strong. It's really the 7 stocks. You know, as we were talking about it with Steve, I think the other day. Look, all you got to. I don't follow the stock market nearly as much, but I follow it enough to know that if I just bought the top 7 stocks, I would always make money. That's it. Buy the dips on all 7 stocks, keep buying the 7 stocks, keep buying the 7 stocks, keep buying the 7 stocks, and I'm done. I don't need to. Why am I going to have to? Remember how I tell you guys on crypto, don't, make it easy for you guys, 40% in Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum, 10, 10, and 10 if you want to go in the altcoins, because obviously it's a lot more riskier in the altcoins, but Bitcoin and Ethereum are not a risk. They're the monsters of the midway, and I would throw Solana in there now as the number 3. But overall, that way you don't think. But if you buy Microsoft, you don't have to think. And you buy Tesla, you don't have to think. And Apple, you don't have to think. And Amazon, you don't have to think. And Nvidia, there's no thinking because they're so dominant that they only go in one direction because they have no equal. And that's how this whole thing is, made up. Anyway, and Bitcoin will definitely go over 100,000 easily in the next couple of months. It's just you get lost in this whole 3-4 months, right? I don't know how long it's been, about 3-4 months, whatever. It's definitely been 3. We're probably getting more to 4 of this whole sideways thing that, people, it's what Kyle says. This is part of it. But until you've gone through a 4-year cycle of it, you won't really feel it. This is my 5th year now in it, right? 4.5 now I'm in. So I'm completing my first cycle because I got in at the back end of the last bull run. So then I've kind of experienced it. So now I'm going to have that whole thing. So for the next 4 years, I'm going to know exactly what to do and how to handle it and all that kind of stuff. So it's my experience too. But a lot of people, they just got in the last couple of weeks, months, year and a half. So this is this kind of what's it called? This kind of volatility freaks people out. Let's see. As Bitcoin rises, our economy will get better and the real estate and stock market will go back to normal capacity, but all this may take 2 to 3 years. Yeah, we'll see. I don't have a lot of hope for the back end of 25, to be quite honest. Keep the cultural references coming. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. Buy real estate. That's another one. Real estate never, ever is a bad thing. Never is a bad thing. By some miracle, Canada wins against Argentina. It'll make the U.S. men's national early exit in Copa America even worse. Yep. Frankie says Canada needs a miracle to beat Argentina. Yeah. Hey, Frankie, you check out that powerhouse today at 8 o'clock? Spain. That's a powerhouse, bitch. Anyway, Steve Chapman is number 1. Thank you, sir. I don't know if it'll be a great show, but we will try our best like we do every single day. I see Jay Gelfin is in the house. A little Taco Tuesday. Excited. 2 Inter Miami CF players, midfielders Benjamin Kremaski, USA, and Diego Gomez, Paraguay, will be at the 24 Paris Summer Olympics. Yes, sir. Cosa Nostra, NorCal. Got some good info on your interdivision road trip for this season. Have a great day. Oh, NorCal. Good. All right, man. Reach out to me when I get off the air. Let's see. Steven Gonzalez is in. Ray Sosa. Don't like how the Heat were outbidding themselves for hate. The Heat outbid themselves for everything. I'm telling you, look at the whole thing with Caleb Martin. That's an indictment on their front office right now. The magic that Riley had and the front office used to have, they're not on that roll they haven't been on that roll for a while. They've made a lot of bad decisions, and they've got to get back on track and make better decisions. That's why I keep saying you got to trade Butler, go grab a ton of picks, and reset this whole thing, bro. You've done a better job now of drafting. You do an awesome job of developing. You just made some really terrible free agent moves, man. And it's just in contracts, and you've lost like a touch of what the real value of a player is, because the Caleb Martin thing ended up becoming a blessing, to be quite honest. They were willing to pay him what no one was even close to wanting to pay him.
So that means they did not measure their own player. And the Highsmith thing is the same thing. It's just that they don't have their fastball at times. The coaching and development part and the scouting, they do a great job there. But when it comes to the free agency and the salaries and all that, there's a lot of mismanagement on that side. The trades and the free agency and salaries, there's a ton, bro. How do you give Dion Waiters? He needs ankle surgery. So who the fuck is going to give him a 4-year contract? Because he played 27, 28 games with Dragon that year that he played great. It was a glorious 28 games to watch Dion play. Seriously, it was fun. But it was the only 28 games of his entire career that he played that way. As we say in Spanish, se cagó, se reventó. That's what we say in Spanish. He took a dump, bro. He got lucky for like 28 games and everything he shot went in. And then Riley. How does Riley? This is Pat Riley, the godfather, bro. Think about this. It's like, did you get soft? I hate to say it, but did you get soft? So the guy's injured, often injured. He needs ankle surgery, and so he's headed for free agency. Are you afraid somebody's going to steal him from you or something and give him a 4-year contract like you did? That's losing the fastball. That is, wow. When he did that years ago, I was like, whoa, that is the most un-Riley-like thing I have ever seen. And then I start watching all the un-Riley-like things. Oh, yeah, no, we'll draft Shabazz Napier for you. In desperation, you'll get Danny Granger, bro. Danny Granger was put together with Band-Aids and Elmer's glue and shit. Not even Gorilla Glue, not Crazy Glue. No. Elmer's. Danny Granger? Danny Granger. What the? Even if Butler wants Lowry, what the fuck made you think Lowry was even worth that money, dude? There's like a lot of mistakes that are constantly made, dude. They got lucky on the Duncan one because it was a bad contract because Duncan was so limited. And then the miracle worker, somehow development and the coaching staff make Duncan into a complete player. And now the contract's a bargain. But not every player you're going to be able to make, a diamond out of a coal. And so if you want the weakness of what's been going on with the Heat, it's free agency, it's bad trades, it's bad contracts. That's what has ruined the Miami Heat and set them back constantly in these last 10 years. And here you are at the crossroads of another key decision. To give Jimmy Butler more money would be the dumbest thing out there. To keep Jimmy Butler is just flat out dumb. Have you not learned your lesson, bro? If you don't have David Copperfield coaching your team, that's the only reason you've overachieved by leaps and bounds the last few years. And how many more times are you going to ask him to be Gordon Ramsay? Shit, dude. You're giving him stuff that he needs at Checkers, and you want him all of a sudden to give you, the results of a restaurant on Rodeo Drive. This is what you ask of Spo all the time. Here's garbage. Dion Waiters, make it a playoff team. Well, I almost did it, Coach. Greg Popovich couldn't get those guys to 500. Okay? Greg Popovich's ass would be out in the first round on Hell's Kitchen. Spo wins it, and he won it by cooking an entire meal out of a fucking onion. You can't keep doing this. Here, Spo, here's water. I need wine. Here's coal. Give me diamonds. That's what we do with Spo. Here's a turd. Give me a baby Ruth. How much more are you going to abuse the man? Oh, and by the way, he's still not the highest paid coach in the NBA. That's the insult to everything. You overpay a bunch of players, you underpay the best coach in the planet. I mean, at least if I'm Harrison, I'm going to say, hey, Eric, come on over here. I'm sorry, man. We're constantly treating you like shit here, and you're constantly giving us gold. Let's make sure. Let's cut this deal again. And whenever somebody becomes the highest paid coach, you're going to get $1 million on top of that. That's the clause in your contract. That's what should be there, because that's who he is. Because he's $10 million better than Popovich, $20 million better than Steve Kerr. Because Popovich, in his fucking dreams, can't do the shit that Spo does. In his dreams, he can't do it. He only works with stars. I've never seen him get more out of less, which is what this guy does all the time. So you want your problems? Your problems are in free agency. Your problems are in bad salary management. Your problems are in trades. That's where your problems are with the Miami Heat. That side of the organization continues to make screw-ups. And this offseason just continues to prove the screw-ups and 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 the screw-ups. And it just proves how out of touch they are in that part of it. Not the drafting, not the coaching, not the development. They're going to do whatever you give them will be better than what it is. That's proven over and 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 over again. But what's proven over and 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 over again, that they suck at trading, they suck at salaries, they suck at free agency, they suck. They're really, really mediocre the last few years. That's what has happened. But, you go ahead and create the other myth that, the delusional Heat fan base creates. Okay. Anyway, this is not the right market to buy a big chunk of real estate unless you're buying way below. Yeah, no, JJ is correct. We have a crash coming next year, so it's a good time to wait for that in this country. I mean, there are deals to be had in other countries, because there are real estate happenings in other parts of the world that are, pretty good to take advantage of. But here, JJ, you are absolutely 1,000% correct, sir. Right now, they're still at all-time highs. They're starting to come down, but we're not there yet. We need the commercial crash that's coming. It's already happening, but it's when it goes all out, then that will have a small effect on real estate, and then that's when you pounce. You are correct, sir. You are correct, sir. You are correct. Big O, you're saying it without saying it on the Heat. No, I'm calling people out. They've done a great job for a quarter century, but there's a part of their game that is struggling, and you have to call it out. That's all. And since I'm really the only one that's going to call it out, I might as well be the only one that calls it out and say what has to be said, because nobody's going to say that. You're not going to get that on QAM, and you're not going to get that anywhere else. So
I will admit they didn't let Spo's ex-wife take his money. Good job on the front office. They have kids, right? Don't they? From the first marriage. So, if they have kids, then he's tied for 18 years, baby. He's tied for 18 years, one way or the other. You pay one way or the other, dude. Hope Jaime Jaquez takes a step forward. I have no faith in Tyler Zero, bum out of bio, and Jimmy becoming a butler to actually stay healthy and become better. Oh, that is a trip. All right, let's get to it. All right, man. Hey, we've got Euros. We've got Copa tonight. Who better to break it all down than David Furones in our Welt and Realm Miami Dolphins report?
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Realm Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. This morning I said, Dave, hey, you good for 10:30? He said, yeah, I'm good. I go, all right, great. All right, I want a complete breakdown of Messi and the. It's like, hey, is this the right text? Like, yeah, bro, come on, let's go.
I thought you had the wrong football, right? I thought you had the wrong sport.
I thought it was football instead of football.
Yeah.
Do you watch any of that, by the way? Do you watch any of the Copa or the Euros?
Yeah, actually, quarterfinals. While I was on vacation, a group we were with, a lot of people were interested in it, so we kind of had it on TV. I was watching a lot of last round, and I know there's a couple big matches and semifinals today. And Messi's playing tonight, and we have Spain and France, right? So in the Euros. So, España. Yeah.
Yes. Vasco, Suaray. So yes, that's my people, bro.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I got. I'll be rooting for Spain tonight, as always. Although we're notorious for choking. Although we've had more success lately, like a few years back here, we actually had some success, World Cup and Euros and stuff like that, which was really nice. But in the past, my Spaniards have had our moments of amarillo. So it's happened. Unfortunately, I have to admit it. But we're pretty good. All right. So let's see if Spain can get it done versus France today.
Mainly the extent of my soccer watching is World Cup when it comes around, and then I'll keep up some with the big international tournaments. But and MLS not too much. But now Messi's presence in Miami has gotten me into some MLS a little bit, still casual, but definitely, I mean, that impact, you got to follow along.
I ask you because a lot of guys your age, like one of the things I noticed on the back end of my career in radio is that a lot of my producers were soccer people. And so, because I see the younger generation is much more, like for me, I've always been a soccer guy. But man, I find myself, especially in the media or Cuban, like I'm by myself. There's not a lot of people that are soccer fans unless I run into somebody that's, Argentine or Brazil or something like that. That's naturally comes to them since they were kids. You know what I'm saying? But growing up here in South Florida amongst, whether it's Americans or Cubans, or our African-American friends, there's not a lot of soccer fans in my age group. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's kind of rare. But in your age group, it's huge, bro, because a lot of guys your age either play FIFA on video, which led them to liking soccer, or they naturally follow, the Premiership and other things like that. So I'm sure a lot of your friends actually watch soccer.
Yeah, it speaks to the growth of soccer in this country because, and I think a lot of also people my age, they became sports fans later than I did. Like I was a sports fan since I was I was single digit ages, and so I was kind of like the traditional American way of watching sports. Where I recall watching ESPN as like a 6-year-old watching Sports Center. When I could stay up late enough during the summer to watch the Baseball Tonight at 10 and Sports Center at 11, and I was allowed to stay up and watch those. And it was like baseball, basketball, football, and then a little bit of hockey just because to complete the big four. But those were kind of like my main three growing up. So yeah, I kind of went with that traditional sense. And then funny, like on my trip, then a group of friends we were with, some of them are like some Northeastern folks, but then we had like our Miami crew, and then a lot of us Cuban, and then someone was asking us, wait, so like Cuba doesn't have a good team? And I'm like, no, man, we like they play baseball. We play baseball over there. So peloteros, yeah, and boxeo. So
that's it.
Yeah,
that's
it's not that much of a thing over there.
That's our game. Our game is boxing. That's about it, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So when you're limited, that's kind of where you grew up with. That you never were able to expand because your economy was never able to expand. So you stay where you're at. You stay that you reach. That's it. And you are now not as good at that either. By the way, you know what I'm saying? That's the sad part about Cuba. The cigars aren't nearly as good. The rest of the up to their cigars, and some of them passed their cigars, so it's kind of become more. It's kind of like I've been pointing this out lately. The myth they used to. Pat Riley throws the rings, and they come. Well, no, that's actually not true. They don't do that anymore. That hasn't happened for long, like decades. It's really, and so there's that myth with Cuba also like that. You know what I mean? That it's the same thing. Oh, no, the greatest cigars. Actually, that's not true anymore, bro. You know what I mean? It's still pretty good, but they can't grow that because, again, the quality is not there anymore because they don't have that money all throughout their entire. That's why they never grew, and they were never able to get anywhere. All right. So speaking of never getting anywhere, have the Dolphins?
What a transition! That's why you're the king of this.
I don't know. You survive.
No, well, to my knowledge, nothing new. I think a lot of vacationing probably going on right now. A lot of time off, and then maybe once you get closer to training camp, then we're really going to see something. And then we're really going to find out if this is going to be settled before training camp or if it's going to dive into to camp, and who takes a hard stance and who sort of compromises a little bit in order to reach the middle ground that they need to get to. And then Tua might make a decision to keep holding in on the 11-on-11 drills, possibly early in camp. But we've talked about that. I don't think he should go that route for the entirety of camp if it's still unsettled. But furthermore, I just feel like these two sides, I feel like they're gonna find that common ground at some point. I just feel like there's a happy ending to this, even though it's dragged on so long. We felt it was close. We felt since the beginning that it would get done, and then how many times did we say we feel like it's on the verge, and it's probably just like a guarantee or something like that holding it up, and then I think the market showing what the market truly was probably distanced them a little bit, and then put a little roadblock in the progress they had been making, and then now here's where we are. So, but I think a lot of people are probably just still not really back into the full football swing of things while we have 2 weeks now before veterans report for training camp, and the rookies will report next week. So I mean, it comes around faster than you think.
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, I think they'll come to an agreement. I think this is the MO of Chris Greer, that he just doesn't hand out contracts, and he deals from a position. He tries to deal from a position of strength with everybody, and it doesn't matter if you're X, and it doesn't matter if you're Connor Williams and you want more money. And no, not so fast, bro. Not the whole
what's that? What's the guy on ESPN? The older gentleman, not so fast, my friend.
Lee Corso.
Corso. And so that's Chris Greer, dude.
Yeah.
He's done that with everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. It's not so fast, my friend. And so the thought that, oh, it's the quarterback and all that, bro, that's who he is. And that's kind of what he's been. He's been shrewd with all of his. So he doesn't want to go crazy for a corner or for a tackle or a quarterback. He'll pay it, but he wants to also have a position where he can have some flexibility and create a team around to it. I think that that's what they're trying to do. That's why they continue, the beauty of hindsight is that it gives you 2020. Okay. And as time has gone on, you start going up higher and higher and higher in an elevation, and you start looking at the big picture of what's going on. And I start looking at it, and these sons of bitches were very smart in the front office because they're like, okay, they're coming along. They knew what direction they were going in with the quarterback and the money. They were probably in some, but then all of a sudden these other deals came in and kind of clouded it a little bit. But meanwhile, they said, all right, this is kind of the space we're at. All right, let's go sign the rest of our team to put the team around him. And now when you go back to the negotiating table, you say, well, hey, man, if we pay you this, then we're going to have to start losing players down the line, and we won't be able to, sign a Calais Campbell, and we won't be able to add this guy or that guy, a Jordan Poyer, guys like this that are going to help us get over the hump. And so it's kind of an example on the front office side to the agent and to the player, like, hey, man, it's not only about you. We have to be able to pay everybody else, too, at the same time. We got to pay Javon Holland next after we're done with you. And then next year, it's Jalen Phillips. We've got to then talk. And so I think in a way, they put themselves in a position to tell the quarterback and the agent, hey, look, we want to pay you, but we're not going to go crazy just because somebody else went crazy. We need to build a team around you. I don't know.
Yeah, certainly. A trademark of Chris Greer is responsible spending and clearly at all positions. Even if the Jaguars want to give Trevor Lawrence the $55 million per year and the Lions want to give Jared Goff the $53 million per year, Chris Greer is going to stay pretty committed to what he feels, even as the market updates and adjusts what he feels it should be. And he's not going to look at Trevor Lawrence's deal and say, okay, now this is what the going rate that any quarterback that signs goes for, and we have to do it. We have to abide by it. Say, okay, that's the Jaguars. That's what they wanted to do with Trevor Lawrence. And I think also, to your point, it's clear that the Dolphins feel that with Tua, they need to have the team around them, like with most quarterbacks. But it's not like a Patrick Mahomes where, and sure, he still has his Travis Kelce's, and when they got rid of Tyreek Hill and had all these wide receiver issues, he was able to pull it up, from the bootstraps and get the team to another Super Bowl and two actually, and they still had that defense and even built the defense further with the draft picks and the extra money that they had and re-signing Chris Jones and all that, but. I don't think they view it or the same way as Buffalo Bills, for better or worse, say, okay, we can move on from Stephon Diggs because Josh Allen is the one, and that he's the piece where whether he has the targets around him or not, we feel we can win. I think with Tua, it is clear they do feel they need that strong team around him, and why not? You would want Tua to be in the best position possible with the roster, with the weaponry around him, and with a defense that can also hold its own, so that you can give yourself the best chance to win the Super Bowl.
Did you see the comments from David Long with Aaron Wilson?
I have not. I might have been on vacation. Please tell me.
No, that's cool. That's understandable. He talked a little bit about where he is now in a better place. Where with Anthony Weaver, he was last year he wasn't playing. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but last year was kind of a struggle because he wasn't playing as much early on, and then eventually he started playing more, and he had a career year when it was all said and done. And so, but he talks about how now he's in the position that he is comfortable in. He has, a comfort level now with everything going on, and physically and mentally, he's in a good place. And two things came out of that conversation with Aaron Wilson. One, and here, let me, you know what? I got the quote right here. Here we go. We've got a lot of dogs coming in. We're just reloading. I think the most important thing when it comes to new players and new coaches is the chemistry that comes with time. We built something. The next step is to go to training camp and build from that. Same thing as last year. New system, new coaches. It was kind of it was difficult to get in rhythm, especially earlier in the year when I wasn't playing as much. Now I'm in a place where I'm comfortable. I'm back to where I'm supposed to be. Right now, everything it is what's supposed to be, whether it's the chemistry, the health, which is very important to me, and my mental. That's all good. So remember, he had career year in tackles and everything with the struggles of the old man. And so I talked about this yesterday. Now you think about it, Javon Holland didn't like the old man. I'm sure Kader Kohu didn't like the old man. I'm sure Cam Smith didn't like the old man. I'm sure Mike McDaniel in the end said, yeah, this is not the right fit. In the end, yeah, great coach, and they were top 10, but it was an adjustment because it was almost like it was the square peg being put into the round hole. And so here's where I go a little deeper now. Here's where I look at the front office and I say, you guys are pretty awesome because you got pros who didn't like this son of a bitch, and they adjusted to him and played it. They played better and better as their defense went on all year, even though they didn't get along with the guy, even though the guy didn't adjust. In games like the Ravens and the Titans, he didn't blitz when he should have. When he should have put more pressure on Lamar, when he should have put more pressure on Will Levis, he failed. He didn't use his players like Ramsey how he's supposed to. Holland, you'll see, will be a multiple player now. All these kind of things that you could have done, you didn't do, Weaver is. So all of a sudden now you hear David Long, and Weaver has a possibility of getting more out of these guys because these guys played well under difficult conditions. Can you imagine how they're going to play when you actually play them under the conditions that they're supposed to be in? When you start playing Jalen Ramsey the way you're supposed to play him, when you don't waste him on one side and, the better players over here and shit like that. Like all of a sudden now, if you hear David Long, he saw the acts of the safety and others, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think Anthony Weaver is going to bring tremendous morale to that unit. For David Long specifically, he was a newcomer with a lot of faces that had been on this defense for a while and had seen different systems. And you go back to Jerome Baker and Xavier Howard, how long they had been there, and then now those two are actually gone. And then so David Long actually with some of this turnover that we've seen on the defensive side of the ball, now he's one of the more veteran Dolphins guys. Like his Dolphins tenure is one of the longer ones just from being here last year. And I think he can build on that with a defensive coordinator that whose mind, his style aligns better with today's players. So I think that's a benefit. And then also Anthony Weaver specifically, of course, what he could do on the defensive line, but coming from a system where they had great linebacker play, where you had a Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith combination. And then now David Long can see himself doing that with, you mentioned that in his quote, he said, we got dogs coming in. Jordan Brooks is that one of those dogs for sure. He has dog written all over him when you look at him. So that's a linebacker tandem that will excite you if you're the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I thought those comments, when you start putting the whole puzzle again, elevate yourself. Go look at the overall picture. You know what I mean? Like I think Weaver will look at Kohu and say, "Okay, I'm not zoning his ass nearly as much, I'm going to use him to attack. I'm going to use him in the run game. I'm going to use him, with isolation somewhere. I'm going to have him one-on-one with somebody. But I'm not going to all of a sudden put him in a zone because that's not necessarily who he is. And Ramsey or Holland, I think they're going to move those kind of guys around. You know what I mean? I just think that Weaver is going to look at it and say, I got some athletes. Let me use them the right way. Let me use them to their strengths. And I think that that's going to be really beneficial to what's going on. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel, sir?
Yeah, we actually have a Countdown to Camp series starting up pretty soon here. So myself and Chris Perkins will split up 10 different Dolphins topics to start coming out at the end of this week. So, I'll be filing them in advance and then getting them out there as we get down to the final 10 days before training camp. So keep an eye out for those.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up later on in the week.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you.
Got it. There you go. Welton Ram, we are in storm season. Don't mess around. A couple of you guys and ladies have called Welton Ram this past week, whether it's a car accident, whether it's a trucking accident, whether it's bankruptcy. We've got a couple of listeners that have reached out because they've had some credit card issues, and I know that people are going into their credit cards a little too much because unfortunately times are really, really tough, and now you've put yourself in a tough position. Welt and Rayom can get you out of that hole. Call them 954-966-4646. If you get hit by a storm, a hurricane, because it's not just a hurricane anymore. Now we know that these thunderstorms can come down and hit you and drop 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, and we end up with flash floods. So if you have homeowner property damage, condo damage, maybe a pipe breaks from your neighbor and it goes on you. One of our listeners had one of the neighbor pipe broke above them and the leakage came down. And then, you trust me, you want these guys. And listen, we have wind events all the time and 40, 50 mile an hour wind. It doesn't have to be a hurricane. It does some roof damage. They have their own adjusters. They will send their adjusters to your home. They will look at it and say, hey, you need a new roof. And they'll go after your insurance company and get that roof. 954-966-4646. Business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Protect yourselves with the best tackles in the business. Welt and Rayom, they've come through for so many of our listeners and yours truly because I watched them crush Progressive firsthand. Call them 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
España! Go Spain, baby. Go Spain. And go to our merchandise shop, too, right there. Use our QR code. BigORadioshow.myshopify.com. Check it out, please. Support our platform. That's a great way to support our platform. Look, the Bitcoin hats, the Big O Show Bitcoin hats. That embroidery work. Woo, doggy. 3A graphics, kicking that ass. The side of the hat, there you go. Live 10 a.m. daily on YouTube. And then, of course, hey, no, this is an early one. That's right. No, this is the Bitcoin hat. The Big O Show hats have the Bill Preston dedication in the back. The Big O Show, not the Bitcoin ones. So there you go. We got Big O Show hats. Do I have one here? I don't know if I have one here. We have the white ones too. By the way, we have the Big O Show hats and the Bitcoin hats in black and white. And we're getting the color shirts printing this week. So hopefully by early next week, everything is getting starting to get shipped out to all you all that ordered the colors. Finally. It's been a mission. Hasn't been easy. It's been a mission. Got to admit, it's been a mission. Let's see what else. What do we got here? Dolphin defense will play loose and will blitz more. They are going to have fun. What else? Heat have been dropping the ball in free agency in the offseason for a decade now. We just get distracted by the fluke final runs. Yeah, we get distracted by the greatness of Eric Spoelstra. Greer's not stupid. He's working smart, but make no mistake, he knows he has to sign to him. They'll sign him. And by the way, there will be no holdouts. He's under contract. Okay? He's under contract. There are no holdouts. What's he going to do? Get fined $50,000 a day, and they can't rescind it. They used to do that, and they would, sit out, and then when they'd report, they'd write it off and say, "Oh yeah, no fines. Fuck it. We'll just erase it." That doesn't happen anymore. The fines will go against your salary. So he's not holding. He's under a 5th-year option. He has to play. They have him by the proverbial cojones. There'll be no holdout. And if he wants to hold in, it would create problems for him because he's in the middle of trying to, oh no, I want more than this guy, more than that guy. And see, the problem is that if you watch Jacksonville pay him and then, well, wait a minute, I'm better. Yeah, exactly. That's Jacksonville paid a guy that's not better than you. And we're not doing that. We're just because they're irresponsible, we're not going to do that. And that's kind of the way they're looking at it. Clearly. And so if you want to prove that you're that, then, you did the whole thing this year that you showed that you can stay on the field. Okay. Now you're going to have to stay on the field and, come through and play in other games and have big moments and all that. And then erase all the doubt and then ask for more money down the line. But for now, they have him by the balls. To be quite frank, they have him by the balls. He has no leverage. The only thing Tua can do is bring bad PR to himself. And he's not that. So he'll report, whether he'll be disgruntled about it or whatever, but he'll report, he'll play, and he'll be motivated to play at his best. one way or the other. If he has the contract, he'll be motivated to play at his best. If he doesn't, he'll be pissed to be motivated to play at his best. But the kid's a pro one way or the other. He's already gone through a coach that he literally knew didn't want him and wanted to get rid of him. Like, he had to deal with that for 2 years. They're right now at this point, Tua Tagovailoa is Tony Montana. And right now, Tua Tagovailoa is sitting right now in the interview room, just like Montana, sitting there looking at the guy from the Feds saying, hey, you can do to me, you can't do to me what Castro has not done already. And that's basically, you can't do to me what Flo has not done already. So he's going to survive everything. Once he survived the whole Flo mess, he could survive anything. So that I'm not even worried about that kind of stuff. So he'll be motivated with enthusiasm or anger, but he'll still be motivated because in the end, he's a true pro. And he could have been a dick the first 2 years. Like, yo, bro, you drafted me and you're playing slapdick, jabroni Brissett and all that. He could have gone the other way, and he didn't. So I just think a lot of people look too much into this. I think Chris Greer is doing what he normally does, and he doesn't give a shit what position it is. The problem is some of you out there just want to complain to complain, whether he gets it or he doesn't. Frankie Fresco is a perfect example of that. He's the guy that fuels the fire for the contract to then fuel the fire to complain about the contract. He's the perfect example of what I've talked about. He lives on this chat board talking about that on and off and 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 on and off. Because that's all this is to you guys out there. But in the end, Chris Greer is trying to negotiate the best deal he can, and he doesn't give a shit what player it is. And in the end, if Wilkins wants $29 million or whatever, $28 million, he looks at him and he says, you're not a pass rusher, bro. I'm not paying you. And I'm out of here. And he went and I'm paying Zach Sealer, who has your stats and maybe even a little better, half the money. How am I going to pay you that kind of money? You're the same thing that Zach Sealer is. Why would I pay you that kind of money? And he's a terrific player, but he overpriced himself. And it doesn't matter who you are. He's got an issue now with the Tyreek Hill situation. And, we'll see. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he made a mistake in not trading X a couple of years ago off the 10 interceptions. I know I know it's easier for me to say it than them doing it, but I understood why they hung on to him, because they were trying to make a run here with Tua and McDaniel and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. It just didn't work out. But you have a chance now to, do the right thing again. Because, see, Joe Fan out there sits there and go, oh, no, Tyreek Hill will be getting 1,500 and 1,700 yards for us every year for, until he's 35. And it's the stupidest shit in the world. There's going to be a drop-off, and the drop-off will be big. It'll happen. Don't know when, but you don't want to be caught in a deal when it happens. And you got one more year, and you're going to ask for another 1,700 yards. That's 3 in a row to a guy that's going to go to 31 the following season. How much more do you want to roll the dice? No, you got to learn to get off the gravy train at the right time. The Heat failed to get off the gravy train from Butler last year. The Dolphins failed to get off the gravy train of X 3 years ago. And Tyreek's gravy train is probably going to end after this season, because then you start playing with age and injury and wear and tear, and just you got to make good decisions. You got to be a tough negotiator. And so far, Greer has proven to be a tough negotiator. And Shore has proven to be a very crafty contract creator. Oh, I'm sorry. I've Manny's there, and I just say I saw the text now. Let's go. Let's talk a little Canes. Hour number 2 with our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. Damn, I'm seeing this here. This guy says he liked the new Beverly Hills Cop movie. I thought it sucked. Did you see it?
I watched it this past weekend. It was okay. You know, it's funny. I rewatched Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. Huh?
You didn't laugh, right?
I didn't really laugh. No, there weren't many. Yeah, it's very. What's funny is that's a movie that just didn't age well. Like you go back to you watch the 84 and 87 versions, and like I'm like, wow, like it just doesn't carry over to today. It's not as funny.
No. Some guy said, no, I really liked it. I was like, yeah, dude, it was like a movie.
Yeah.
You know, problem is Eddie Murphy hasn't been funny in 30 years, dude.
Yeah, not since it's Raw.
His movies have been more, but our kids.
Yeah.
The Doolittle, the Haunted House. Those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? Scrumples. What's something? What's that other one? Not Dr. Doolittle, but it's the other one that he did. That's kind of a goofy one of kids' movies. My daughter used to watch them all the time. Yeah.
The one that I thought was okay, and that's only because I had kids, was the one where he was the babysitter, which I forget where he's in the house and all that crazy stuff happens with him. But yeah, you're right. He hasn't been good in a long time.
He hasn't been good for us, for adults, in forever, bro.
Yeah. Listen, but he's a rich man. It worked for him, right? You do where the money, you go where the money goes.
God bless him, because he really did a nice job of transitioning and creating kids' movies. And that's where I give him. But you know, when you go back to trying to be funny again, it doesn't work, bro. It doesn't fly. And by the way, what's his name? The older boy, he looks old. Not
These guys are all in their 70s. Like they're all like really like late 60s. Yeah, Taggart to older dude, bro. Like these guys are beat up. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Taggart looks like he's, I don't know, he was married to an older version of Britney Spears all over the, like a crazy woman or something that drove him like nuts or something. Holy shit. Taggart looks like, he's been fighting some kind of addiction for like 400 years or something. The poor man, boy, that was not a good look. Anyway, all right, what do we got going on in the world of the Canes? Because I see in 2027, Vegas and Mario Cristobal's favorite team, Utah.
Yeah, try to overcome the monster, right? The team that he just couldn't beat when he was at Oregon.
I think he's up in cold sweats here in South Florida. Like, honey, what's wrong? It's Utah again. It's Utah. I think that's what this is. I need to schedule those bastards. I gotta exercise my Utah demon.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's cool that Miami is getting picked to play in a kickoff classic like that, right? Because all the premier programs in college football do, and it's obvious that the ACC and Big 12 are trying to do something, right, to generate money, to generate interest. The SEC and Big 10 are going to get so much attention. They're going to get so many playoff spots in the next couple of years. I think it's smart for the ACC and Big 12 to get together and put a game together like this with what should be two of your best programs, right? I mean, Miami and Utah could potentially be the programs that win the conference the next couple of years. So by 2027, this could be a really exciting game, or a game that we have no idea what's going to happen. So I think both programs are headed in the right direction. Utah's been very good for a long time. They didn't have their quarterback last year. He's coming back, I think, for his 27th season this year, Cam Rising. So he'll be back. They should be good this year, and I think Miami should be good. So I think it's a good matchup, even though it's 3 years away.
Yeah, it's 2027. Yeah, 3 years away. All right, where are we at with the recruiting? Because it looks like the recruiting and the commitments continue.
Yeah, they ended up getting another top 100 player, which we talked about on Friday, S.J. Alafatuli out of Las Vegas, Bishop Gorman, the number one center in the country in the 2025 cycle.
Name? Why don't you pronounce his first name, tough guy?
Sisu. I actually met him at the Future 50 at IMG Academy last year. He and his teammate who's going to Tennessee from Bishop Gorman. I met both of those kids last year. Good kids. Obviously come from the American Samoan descent, just like all the Mario loves getting Samoan kids.
What's the middle name? The middle name.
Oh, I have no idea what his middle name is, but everybody calls him SJ. He likes being called SJ. He actually prefers that over.
Of course, because if not, you're gonna call Tua his real name. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they picked up. They're in the top 10 now in terms of the recruiting rankings. I think they were at number 9 last I checked yesterday. And they've got a bunch of other kids that they're still in on. Jabori Antoine, a cornerback out of Louisiana. Miami's done a really good job recruiting Louisiana because of Dennis Smith, who's their recruiting coordinator. They're looking to get a top 100 cornerback. That's a position of need. He's a former LSU commitment. He's deciding basically between Miami and Florida State. So we'll see when he announces on July 20 where he picks. And then the next big one is DJ Pickett, which is the number one player in the state, top 10 recruit overall, 5-star out of Zephyr Hills, Florida. The kid went to Oregon on his recent trip. Oregon just finished landing the number one receiver in the country. So, they paid a pretty penny for him. Who knows if they're going to drop a boatload of money for DJ Pickett, but this is the game now. You got to recruit and you got to pay. And we'll see if DJ Pickett picks Miami. His cousin was in the last recruiting class for the Hurricanes, so they have that going for them. But not an easy battle for that kid, and we'll see if he picks Oregon, Miami. I think he's got another finalist, but I think it's either going to be Oregon or Miami.
Again, I don't get high or low on these recruits and all this kind of stuff, but the Wade and Charles loss to the 4-star kid that went to Central Florida instead of Miami, is that a big deal? I don't know, bro. Just walk me through.
No, because all of this, again, this is a kid that the Wade and Charles kid was committed, I think, as a sophomore. This was like 2 years out, and we've talked to you guys about those sophomore commitments, right? Before the guys even play as juniors or seniors, and this kid was.
I only asked because we need, that's kind of been a thing lately that it's.
Yeah. Well, I thought last year's receiver class was actually pretty good. Last year's receiver class was pretty good. They got some good receivers in this last cycle that to me are, maybe they're not the true 5-star number one type guys, but JoJo Trader is legitimate, top 10 receiver at his position. Nye Carr is a top 15 guy at his position, top 100 recruit. Both of those guys were top 100 guys. Chance Robinson, the kid from St. Thomas Aquinas, who I think is a great number 2 receiver. Those 3 kids were really good standouts. This year, they're obviously trying.
I apologize. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just, I grew up spoiled watching one freaking monster after another every year.
Yes.
And so I knew, okay, who's the next guy and who's the next guy and who's the next guy,
Yeah.
And even if you were only Wesley Carroll and Dale Dawkins, okay, you weren't Michael Irvin or Perriman. Right. But you were Andre Johnson, but damn, you were really, really, really good, and then Santana Moss, and it's just, there are so many that I was so spoiled with, from Perrimans and Blades and everything all the way through. But now, as of the last, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years, it's been, I don't have those studs on a consistent basis that are going to be taken in the first and second rounds, guys that the NFL are drooling for. So that's why I'm spoiled, and that's why the only thing I saw the kid that we lose him to UCF, and I'm wondering, I'd like to get back to having those stud receivers all the time.
That's a position that's really fallen off at the University of Miami. You go back, the last first round pick at receiver for Miami was Philip Dorsett, and that's almost 10 years ago now.
He's the worst of them, of the guys that I'm talking about. Like, that's the beginning of the decline, actually.
Yeah. And then Braxton Berrios is the only other guy I think that's been drafted at that position since Philip Dorsett. So they got to do a better job. But look, you have Cam Ward this year. You've got Xavier Restrepo. You've got guys that are. I'm sorry.
That's more than 10 years.
Yeah. No, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I mean, look, they're going after good players. They just have to produce them now. Like, Mario's just got a lot of these guys in through the door. You got to remember that. Like, the last 2 recruiting classes, you have guys that are coming off their freshman year, and now you have guys that are becoming freshmen. So those are really his guys, the last 2 cycles. And now it's a matter of getting better and improving and getting these guys to a better position so that they become first round picks or second round picks, and then they help you recruit the next group of guys to come through. So it just takes a little bit of time, but I think they're going to get there. I like the kids in the last cycle.
By the way, Manny, don't move to France.
I won't. Why? What happened?
Government has just called for a 90% tax on annual incomes over 400,000.
Wow. 90% tax? Wow. Okay. That is bizarre. They don't want any rich people living there? Is that what it is?
Capital's about to just exit every door in France.
Yeah. Guess if you've got any level of money, you will not be living in France. That or you'll be lying. You'll be lying about your income.
It's like going to Italy. You walk around and go, "Hey, there's no young people here. Everybody's old and dying. What the hell is going on here?" And they've lost all. Now, they give things to young people to move there so they can have innovation and growth and all that. And by the way, population.
Yeah,
their population is dying, actually. And population is dying all over the world because it's too expensive to have kids.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, those numbers are going down.
Kids, because it's too expensive for our kids to have kids. Yep. I mean, so don't move to France.
I will not be going to France, brother. I will not be going to France. By the way, I love looking at the comment section while you and I are talking, and we actually got an NIL question there from Jay Dolphins. It says, does Florida, being a no income tax state, help with NIL competition for talent? Jay, that's a great question. And I think it should, certainly, right? I mean, you would think it helps the pros out, so it should certainly help with out-of-state talent. I will say this. If you look at the last couple of recruiting classes, it is not just Florida talent. They're getting guys from California. They're getting guys from Texas. They're getting guys from Louisiana. They're getting guys from everywhere across the country. And I'm sure that is a selling point for these kids, that Florida is a no income tax state. And so it has to help. It has to help the same way it does in the pros.
Yep. There you go. All right. So Bernie Sanders has moved to France. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Catch his work at The Athletic. Better yet, subscribe. Manny, as always, my brother, thank you very much. Stay away from France.
I will, brother. Take care. Bye-bye.
And Eddie Murphy movies. Later.
Bye.
By the way, visit our friends at Caneswear. All right. Caneswear.com. You can go and use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. We save you money. France takes away your money. Bernie Sanders takes away your money. We save you money. Big O10. Use our code. And by the way, if you live too far from Caneswear, but you got to have that Dolphins gear, or you got to have that Heat gear, or that Inter Miami jersey, or that Messi shirt or jersey or hat or whatever, or anything with the Canes logo on it, by the way, over $99, you will get free shipping. Jeff and all the boys, they will pack that stuff up, man. Awesome, John, all those people out there. Brett does a great job. He has put together one amazing organization, Caneswear at Miami Fanwear. Yeah, you can even get Marlins gear there. I don't know if you really want it, but if you want it, they've got it for you there. It's amazing. Caneswear even has sympathy for our minor league outfits like the Marlins. So it's an amazing thing. Go to caneswear.com, use our code BIG010, and of course, you get free shipping over $99 at caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. There you go. By the way, if you need any of the hats that you buy on our merchandise page, if you want me to sign any of them, please make a note there, and I will sign them on the top lid or here or all that, because that's been a request lately for those folks that sometimes buy the hats. They want me to sign it, so we'll gladly sign it. I got my black marker, and I got my silver marker now for the black hats. So we are locked and loaded and ready for that. Remember, another way to support our show is by smashing the hell out of that like button. Please smash it. Get us at least over 100 right now. I'd like to get over 200 to 300 every day, man, and get that thing going as always. And remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Tomorrow, we will be at Toyota of Hollywood. Remember, tomorrow's show, every second Wednesday of the month, we are at Toyota of Hollywood, and that show is at noon. All right? They want us starting at noon. We start at noon. That's the beauty. The sponsor makes the call. And if you want us to broadcast from your business, you can reach out to our business line at 786-754-4664. But tomorrow we'll be at Toyota of Hollywood, where they've got the Corolla Cross and the Camry and the Crown and the Prius and so many great vehicles out there, man. So go check it out there at Toyota of Hollywood. Tell them that Big O sent you. And they've got over 2,000 vehicles, over 1,200 new vehicles. They've got a parking lot that is just stacked floor after floor after floor after floor. I don't know how many floors it is, 7, 8, 9 floors. I don't know what it is. It's tall as hell. I've never seen a parking lot that big. That's all I can tell you. And it is awesome because it's all under roof. So even during the summertime where, oh, man, it's going to rain in the afternoon, doesn't matter. You're going to Toyota of Hollywood. You've got all the cars under roof pretty much. So you can pick the car you want, the color you want, the style you want, the model you want at Toyota of Hollywood. Say hi, by the way, to Herbie. Say hi to Herbie Lopez. Tell him that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. Trust me. Toyota of Hollywood. All right, what do we got on the chat board? Let's see. It's not like Tua will hold out, so this will get done eventually. Yeah, man, I'm not worried about it. Ray says, so what David Furones is saying, without saying it, the Tua contract will get done and we're just overreacting. Yeah, it'll get done. I'm not worried about it. Greer is not stupid. He's working smart, but make no mistake, he knows he has to sign Tua. That's right. David Long Jr. is awesome. He can ball, and if he's feeling better now, the dude might just have a great season. And he had a really good season last year. And Iveto says if the Dolphins can control both lines of scrimmage late in the season and be able to run the ball and stick to it, they will be in good shape. I agree. You fix the run and you give Tua a little extra time instead of, just under 2 seconds, you'll be fine. He'll kill it. He just needs, like any Tom Brady wasn't going to succeed without a line. Peyton Manning wasn't going to succeed without a line. Joe Montana wasn't going to succeed without a line. Drew Brees wasn't going to succeed without a line. Dan Marino wasn't going to succeed without a line. You know, the quarterbacks that can't pick up the ball and just run, they need an offensive line. Could they move a foot two this way, that way? Yeah, they all could do that. Every quarterback can do that. Even Marino, who could barely run, can slide a couple of feet to buy himself that millisecond to get the ball off. Yes, manipulating the pocket is what it's called. Yes, they all can do it. But can they just pick up and run? And no, that's not what their game is. So when you have those kind of quarterbacks, which Tua is that kind of quarterback, your job as a front office and your job as a head coach is to make sure you provide protection. On the days that you weren't providing protection for Montana or Marino or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or any of those guys, they had a long day. It was a long day. Tom Brady would come here and struggle in Miami. Why? Because Jason Taylor and the boys got to him. It wasn't because our offense was lighting them up. It was because the defense was limiting them. And so that's why you even had opportunities where you even won the game, because you got after it. But, you know, Tom Brady had Dante Scarnecchia. Nobody talks about that. Like, considered one of the 3 best offensive line coaches ever. In fact, the year he retired, their offensive line went to shit, and it was so bad, and they had such a mediocre season, and so did Tom Brady, that they had to then go back, and they had to beg him to come back. So the idea is great quarterbacks exist that aren't great athletes. And there are a ton of great athletes that aren't even great quarterbacks, that aren't great passers. In fact, there are more great athletes that aren't great quarterbacks and great passers than the ones that aren't athletes and are great passers, because those are the ones you find a lot more. It's actually really hard to find the guy that scrambles and is also a super accurate passer, because the guys that usually win the Super Bowls are the guys that are winning from the pocket. So that's what you got to do. You got to build around these kind of guys. And as long as you give Tua the time he needs, like any of these pure passers, you're set, dude. You're fine. You're all right. But if you want to count on Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick and then all the modern day guys and all that, that's fine. That's fine. But I still haven't seen Lamar Jackson win jack shit. I haven't seen Josh Allen win jack shit. Keep running, boys. Jalen Hurts, jack shit. So if you want to live off your legs and not your arm, well, I just look at the results. Pat Mahomes lives off his arm. He uses his legs when there's no other hope but that. These other guys, that is part of their arsenal. If they can't run, they can't be effective. Those are the facts, right? If Randall Cunningham or Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts can't run, they can't win, because they can't win just by being pure pocket passers. But if you're going to be a pure pocket passer, then you need an offensive line that's going to give you time. So this has been a story in the NFL for 100 years. Johnny Unitas is not going to run for 75 yards. Give him time and he'll beat you. Joe Montana is now running for 75 yards. Give him time and he'll beat you. Tom Brady isn't running for 7.5 yards, for 17.5 yards. But give him time and he'll beat you. It really, there's no difference. You guys can complicate it and you can do whatever you want, but that's how the game is played. That's how the game has always been played. And so I will always go with the pure pocket passer. Okay? And when they drafted him, the video's there. Injury history scared the shit out of me too. But the one thing I always said was, this kid can ball. This kid can play. This kid can pass. And you can't teach that shit. Either you have it or you don't. And he has it. But you got to give him time. Just like any of these other quarterbacks. You know, if you don't give him time and you don't know, if you can't run an offense like Flo, if your offensive line can't block like under Pepe Le Pew, if you don't stick to the running game like Mike McDaniel does at times, that he doesn't stick to the running game, these are things that will trip up your offense and definitely hurt your quarterback. Injuries will hurt all quarterbacks because if they can't move around and your guys are injured, you know, Marino could drop back because Richmond Webb was there all the effing time, bro. For 11 years, the guy was there. That's a comfort zone. Oh, by the way, unlike, you know, Teron Armstead, Richmond Webb didn't miss games. He didn't miss games. It's really nice for Marino to drop back and his blind side, and that dude's there for 11 years. Got to give him time. Got to give him time. So that's all you need, man. It's really not that difficult. It's really elementary. It's just that people make it more than what it really is. And they invent shit. Hey, 560 is saying the Marlins are open. Steven, I don't give a shit about. First of all, I don't give a shit about 560. And I don't give a shit about the Marlins, bro. Fuck the Marlins. Are we clear on that one, Steven? Fuck the Marlins, bro. Who gives a shit about the Marlins? When they give a shit about winning, then, you know, check in with me. And if they want to waste their time talking about Marlins, they're talking Marlins over there. I mean, are you serious? This was the only Marlins reference you get today. So anyway, I'll take Michael Vick 1,000 times over Lamar. You could keep both of them. I don't want either one. Neither one can win with his arm. So to me, running around and putting a bunch of stats doesn't mean jack shit. That's why a bunch of you Tua haters, you're all a bunch of phony bastards, because at the same breath, you're bragging about Lamar, who can't win in the playoffs, who's 2-4. And Tua's been once to the playoffs with a broken down team against the world champions. Okay, he's 0-1. The guy's been one time, and you treat it like an entire career. Meanwhile, all they do is praise Lamar, and he's 2-4 in the playoffs. And what did he do against Kansas City? I mean, if this is the year, right? This is all I ever hear. And why did he even get to the AFC Championship game? Because they had the bye week and they played Houston in the first round with a young quarterback that all they did was shut down the run, and they put the young quarterback in a terrible position, and he crapped in his pants like most young quarterbacks would when you take the run away from them. Big deal. No, I'm supposed to be impressed with that? Brother, there's nothing impressive. It's a regular season team that shits its pants in the postseason constantly, because it's hard to prepare in the regular season, you know? And then when you get to the postseason, you're playing the better defenses. And then the better defenses know exactly what you want to do. Hey, let's stop the run, because that Mickey Mouse quarterback can't beat you with his arm. He'll get lucky. He'll hit a couple of passes every once in a while, but can he do it on a consistent basis? No. That's why he lost weight again this year now. This year he's going back to running. He tried to stay back there and beat you with a pass, but he can't do that. The only way Lamar Jackson will ever win, and Cam Newton and Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick and Jalen Hurts and all those kind of quarterbacks, is that they got to beat you with their legs. They can't sit in the pocket and beat you on a consistent basis. And that's why they will shit in their pants. But they will give you great moments because they're all phenomenal athletes. So you'll have that Randall Cunningham highlight of him almost hitting the floor and saving himself and getting back up and completing that pass, and wow. But in the end, did you want Randall Cunningham in the playoffs? Hells to the no. Because I'd rather have Dan Marino, who can't move but can hit a pass anywhere on the field that Randall Cunningham can't do in his damn dreams. There you go. So it's pretty simple, dude. Football hasn't changed a lot. It's just more about trying to get back to, the way it's supposed to be done. And if you do it the right way, you'll get incredible results. Block and, wow, your quarterback will have a terrific game. What a concept. If you run the ball and block, oh, my God, you've given your quarterback a chance to be dominant. So, did you hear what Brian Hoyer said about Tua on ESPN? No, I did not. I don't really watch a lot of ESPN, Steven. I don't waste you waste your time a lot, dude, listening to noise. A lot of noise, bro. And I don't need to listen to noise. You know what I mean? A lot of white noise. Just that's all that is. That's all white noise. And you hang on every word that some guy puts on Twitter or some guy says on television or some guy writes. You hang on every word, bro. And did you hear this? Did you hear that? And it's like, yeah. I'm not going to learn anything from Brian Hoyer. I already know what I know. And I'm good. And he's not going to enlighten me in any way possible, any way. I don't think most people on ESPN are going to enlighten me much. There's very few people that I actually look at as credible, and Brian Hoyer isn't one of them. So, still looking for the plain T-shirt with just a logo on the left breast, not the plain T-shirt. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do those. We can do those. I'll come up with one of those. That's a good one. On the next wave, I got to get done through these color things. It's been a mission where we're finally printing them this week, which is good. So I'm hoping that by next week I'm sending out all the colored shirts and the polos and all that. And then once I've gotten that done, and then we're ready to go. And then whenever anybody orders, because if you order the whites and the hats, they go out right away. Like you get them like right away. The colors have been obviously delayed, but I need to get that in stock. And then that way we're in a groove. And then I've already got plans to add some other stuff, but I don't want to add the other stuff until we have caught up with this stuff here, because you people have been very patient, and thank you very much for your patience. I really appreciate your patience. It's been my fault here. Let's see. Tua haters, worst enemy, consistency. Marlins don't care. I don't care about the Marlins. Can anyone name me a great running QB with rings? There are none. The closest guy is Steve Young. And Steve Young learned that he had to, Bill Walsh finally got to him and said, stop running and start playing more from the pocket, so you can be like the guy you replaced. And there you go. And how did he end up? Again, you got to, that's a reference, a cultural sports reference. So go watch Steve Young winning the Super Bowl, and then you'll go, oh, I see what he's doing. Eddie Beto says, that's why I listen to you. You've seen it all in the sports industry. You speak from experience. I try, my brother. I try. There are a few that I can pick up some stuff from, but there's a lot of people out there that's just a lot of hot air, and it's just to get people like my man Steven Gonzalez all winded up, because Steven reads and sees everything, and he's following all these people, and he reacts to all these people. Poor guy. He must have like a bottle of kaopectate right next to him. Steven Gonzalez gets up in the morning, takes a sip of kaopectate. Then he goes in the car, and then there's a bottle of Pepto-Bismol there too for him. Like he's constantly just, he's the coach in North Dallas 40. Okay? The fat, white-haired coach, actor, been in all kinds of shit. I forgot his name now. But he has the Pepto-Bismol thing. By the way, for you, if you're a hardcore football fan and you've never seen the movie North Dallas 40, what are you waiting for? Come on. I mean, if you haven't seen it, that's gross. Gross? Gross is when you go kiss your grandpa to sleep and he sticks his tongue down your throat. That's gross. References, pop culture references, up the yin yang today. And if you're one that has caught all of them from 10 a.m., you're good. You're good. You've got a twisted mind like mine. Brett says a few dual threat QBs have won a Super Bowl. Steve Young, Russell Wilson, and Staubach. Right. But again, Russell Wilson ran. Why? Because it wasn't part of his game. No. He ran because he had no choice. Roger the Dodger Staubach, because that's what we called him, Roger the Dodger. Roger would dodge back there to try to make a play. And then he crossed the line of scrimmage. Why? Wasn't part of his game. It's because he had no choice. Now, Steve Young was a running fool. If my man Eric is watching right now, out there in Utah or in Nevada, I forgot which one it is. I think they're in Nevada, but they're big Utah fans. And back in Utah, Steve Young was a running fool. And he passed some of that on when he got to the USFL, but then when he got to the NFL, that's where Bill Walsh said, youngin'. And we use that loosely, Steve. Youngin'. You don't need to run as much. We need you to win from the pocket. So, yes, you're right. But notice what happened. All those guys ran because they had no choice. Steve Young learned to run when he had no choice. He used to take on hits. Go look at early Steve Young. He thought he was a running back, basically. Crazy son of a bitch. But then he learned because he had the skill set that he could learn to be a pocket passer because he was a passer. And that's the problem with those running guys. They're not great passers. They're not accurate passers. Ball placement. They'll do it at times and they'll freak you out because they're athletes. But pure passers are deadly consistent. It freaks you out. Their consistency freaks you out. All right, let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? Alan Blanco, custom printing and embroidery. There you go. Yeah, baby. Bitcoin. Big O Show Bitcoin hats, 980 West 22nd Street in Hialeah. Call them 786-618-1443. They got a big old warehouse there. Custom printing, embroidery, whatever you need for your business, they got it for you. Wednesday, July 17th, that's next Wednesday, Inter Miami will be back in action. They will host Toronto at Chase Stadium. Tonight at 8 o'clock, Copa America, Argentina taking on Canada. Euros on Fox, 3 o'clock today. España, coño. Taking on France at 3 o'clock. UM, by the way, will open the 2027 season in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium versus Utah. Wednesday, the Heat are back in action in the Summer League. They will take on the Lakers. They are at Chase Center in San Francisco. And Miami Heat have agreed to a 2-year, $11 million deal with Hayward Highsmith as he returns to the team. And the Florida Panthers have agreed to terms with defenseman Adam Boquist to a 1-year contract. His brother Jesper plays for the Cats, and he's also a former first-round pick. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. There you go. There's a listener out there. He sends me a DM like every couple of days. He goes, you call yourself a sports show, and you do that sports calendar thing, and you don't mention this other professional team in town. And I go, yeah, because they're not professional. So they've been banned, you know. But he takes the time every couple of days to remind me that I don't mention it, like it's going to change or something. It's like, yo, bro, you don't know me, do you? You know, you don't know me. The Marlins were banned on our show for about 3 years. And then I gave them the break when they sold and the new ownership came over with Jeter and all that. And I said, okay, let's give them a chance. And they've ruined their chance, and they get nothing from here on out. They get nothing. And that's the way it's going to be. Since when did extending plays ever become the most important attribute for a quarterback? You make plays. If you can extend them, then you extend them, but that's not something you're supposed to live on. You're right. Now, again, just get him on offensive line, bro. That's all. Just like anybody else. Just get him on offensive line. The guy can give you a winning record with a bum-ass coach in Flo. The guy can get a winning record with a coach that still doesn't know how to stay with a run, with an injury-riddled line. So imagine if you actually stick to the run and get a line, you might start winning playoff games now. You know, but it's kind of a team thing. Let's see. Big O Charles During played the coach in North Dallas 40. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There's this scene in North Dallas 40 with him, right? And he's like taking a swig from the Pepto-Bismol, I think it is. I think it's Pepto-Bismol, not Kaopectate. And he's screaming in the middle of the locker room, if anybody's seen North Dallas 40. And it's a scene where he's like, 10 minutes! 10 minutes! And then he, you know, and one more time, 10 minutes! And he's screaming real loud. And I think it's John Matusek who leans over him. Hey, coach, how long again was that? And he looks at me and he's about to say 10 minutes. He goes, fuck you. It's just fucking great. It's just, that movie, I think that movie, I haven't seen it in a while, but I bet you it still holds. You know, the jokes and all that kind of stuff. I bet it still holds to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? He was just a funny character. I remember he said something out of line in the middle of the preacher doing a sermon inside the locker room or something. And it was, oh, excuse me, coach. He dropped some kind of an F-bomb or something. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember scenes from the movie, you know, and lines like I just did before. But yeah, that movie, I would, if you're a football fan and especially you youngins, and you've never seen North Dallas 40, I would give it a whirl. I mean, it's got Matuzek is a legitimate football player because he was a maniac with the Raiders. So he's in that movie, and he just had to play himself. Him and Joe Bob. Joe Bob was the other character that played the other defensive end for Dallas. Obviously, it's kind of a play off the Cowboys almost in a way. One of the things Big O really appreciates is telling him what to do on his show. It truly warms his heart. Oh, man. 2 Busquets are better than 1. That's right, bro. That's it. Since, let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. All right. Don't forget, folks, please smash the hell out of the like button. Let's go. Next person gets us at 100, which is very nice. Appreciate that immensely. Tomorrow we'll be at Toyota of Hollywood, like I told you. And we will start off at noon. Sad news, man. Bernie Kosar, it's been announced he's dealing with Parkinson's and liver failure. Holy shit. Prayers to him and his family. Wow. Let me get to a little music and entertainment. Why don't we? Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And we always appreciate it. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, we get 100% of the donation. We don't mind the super chats. We love it too. But we only get 70% because damn YouTube takes 30% of that. Let's go with musicians born on this date. Jack White, American singer-songwriter, a.k.a. John Gillis, and of course with White Stripes, born in this state in 1975. In 1971, Kelvin Grant, vocalist and musician with Musical Youth. Pass the Dutchie to the right-hand side. Pass the Dutchie to the left-hand side. Pass the Dutchie so I can smoke. Okay. Frankie Bello, bassist with Anthrax, born in 1965 on this date. Ooh, Tom Hingley, under the radar band that I like, in Spiral Carpets, born in this date in 1965. Jim Kerr, singer, songwriter for the Scottish rock band Simple Minds. Don't you forget about me. Born on this date in 1959. Also born in 1959 is Mark Allman, singer for Soft Cell, A Little Tainted Love. There you go. Or with a solo hit, The Tears Run Rings Around My Eyes. Yes. Let's see, 1954 on this date, Debbie Sledge from Sister Sledge. Who else? Mitch Mitchell, drummer for the Jimi Hendrix Experience, was born on this date in 1947. In 1946, the late Bon Scott, Ronald Belford Scott, the original singer for AC/DC. We lost him in 1980. Let's see. Don McPherson, singer with the R&B group Main Ingredient, born in this date in 1941. And that's the musicians born on this date. Let's go with famous birthdays for others. not musicians. Tom Hanks is 68 years old today. Let's see who else is celebrating birthdays today in the entertainment world. Richard Roundtree was born in this state in 1942. Unfortunately, we lost him in 2023. One of those dudes you wanted to be. Let's just say Richard Roundtree was one of those cool guys. That's all, at least for me growing up. Fred Savage, 48 years old, actor, of course. Let's see who else. That's about it. Sean, do we have any wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, actually, a pretty good list here. Kevin Nash turned 65. Mark Merrow turns 64. Salvatore Sincere, also known as one of the Patriots, since there's like 3 or 4 of them, turns 58. Shelton Benjamin turns 49. Damian 666 from Mexico turns 63. And Andrew Everett, who's best known for Impact Wrestling, turns 32. Those are your wrestling birthdays for July 9th.
Nice. Wow, that might have been the biggest list you've put together for birthdays for wrestlers. Very popular date for wrestlers, man. All right, let's go with music history. In 1972, on this day, Paul McCartney's Wings made their live debut in Chautvillin, France. Well, thank God they did it now, because soon they'll take 90% of their money. It marked the singer's first live performance since the breakup of the Beatles. In 83, the Police started an 8-week run at the top of the charts with Every Breath You Take. In 96, for the first time, Deep Purple played Smoke on the Water in the Swiss city that inspired it. The band wrote the song after surviving a fire in Montreux. The Inferno, which happened during a Frank Zappa show the guys were attending, destroyed the auditorium where they planned to record, so they were forced to go to a cold Grand Hotel. In 2001, Metallica singer James Hetfield checked himself into rehab to undergo treatment for alcoholism and other addictions. Man, he's constantly dealing with all kinds of demons, man. In 2003, it's almost like the singing is his real therapy. And you see him, because when you watch it live and you see him, like before the stage, he's there smoking his cigars, and it's almost like you can tell that addiction is a big thing in his life. In 2003, White Stripes singer Jack White was in a car accident. Remember, today's his birthday. So today's his birthday, and Jack White was in a car accident, leaving him with a compound fracture to his left index finger. The injury prevented him from playing guitar, so the band had to scrap a couple of festival gigs, while White went on to fully recover. In 1977, Elvis Costello quit his job at Elizabeth Arden Cosmetics to become a professional musician. I think that was a good idea by Elvis Costello. Slightly, right? I think he makes a little more money in music than he did with Elizabeth Arden. In 1988, Cheap Trick had the '1 song in the country with The Flame. I will be the flame. The only track to top the charts. In 1999, Jerry Hall's lawyers released a statement that is, saying she agreed to separate from Mick Jagger, her husband of 8 years. In 2010, during a Santana's concert in Illinois, Carlos Santana proposed to his girlfriend and the band's drummer, Cindy Blackman. In 2004, Courtney Love was rushed to a hospital. Whatever. I don't care about Courtney Love. Anyway, let's see. Every time I see something in music or whatever, and I just skip over her. She's like she's a modern day Yoko Ono to me. Okay, her music is like a hole in your head. That's the way I would look at it. By the way, Imagine Dragons has announced a North American headlining tour, baby. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. And just so you'll know, if you want to go, well, at least for us Floridians, August 30th, they're in West Palm Beach in the I Think, and September 1st, Tampa, Mid-Florida Credit Union. I will be at one of those shows for sure. I like Imagine Dragons. I really enjoy their music. They started off on July 30th, at the end of this month, in Camden, New Jersey, at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. They'll go to Wantagh, New York, Holmdel, New Jersey, Mansfield, Massachusetts, Toronto, Clarkston, Burgettstown, Pennsylvania, St. Louis, Tinsley Park, Illinois, Noblesville, Indiana, Bristow, Columbia, Virginia Beach, Charlotte, Dallas, Houston, Ridgedale, Missouri, Rio de Janeiro, then to Seattle. Wow, you go from Missouri to Rio for the Rock in Rio, and then you come back for Seattle at the Gorge. I've seen the pictures, but everybody tells me that the Gorge Amphitheater is like top 10 in the country. I'm a concert aficionado, and people that I talk to that go to concerts all over, they always tell me, dude, you have to go to the Gorge. You have to see a concert at the Gorge. So that, my friends, that would be Imagine Dragons at the Gorge. That is awesome. Then they go to Ridgefield, Wheatland, California, Chula Vista, Phoenix, Albuquerque, Salt Lake, Denver, Mountain View, California, and Los Angeles. They're in the Hollywood Bowl. So if you're an Imagine Dragons fan and you've imagined seeing them live, this is your opportunity to not imagine it, but to realize it. Okay? Okay, whatever. Big O, Charles During was a great character actor, played in many movies like The Sting, North Dallas 40. Oh, yeah, no, I know. Dude, Charles During was in so many movies. It's ridiculous how many movies that guy has been in. But he is a freaking character in that movie, dude. A bit off topic, but what's your favorite movie of all time? It's too hard. God, dude, I struggle with that because Star Wars is like, my altar. But, God, I love The Godfather. I love it's like there's so many movies that I Shawshank. Oh man, there's so many movies that I absolutely love. It's just hard for me. It's better to put them. I think it's better to form an opinion if you say, okay, what's your favorite sports movie, or what's your favorite action movie, or what's your favorite science fiction movie, or what's because then I don't take away from any of them. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe I can come up with a better list, and that's a whole other conversation for another day or something like that. But I would be torn with several movies, and it'd just be hard. You know what I mean? But I could lean to Star Wars quickly and say, I'm comfortable just staying in Star Wars forever, because I'm such a Star Wars geek. Anybody that knows me and has, seen me for whatever, talk about it and stuff that I have here in the studios, I have so much Star Wars. I have a Millennium Falcon. I have an X-Wing fighter, a TIE fighter, another X-Wing fighter, a small version, a bigger version. I have the helmet, whatever Lego thing for a regular fighter inside, and the helmet that Skywalker wears. I have another one, the one that the stormtroopers wear. It's ridiculous. I've got so much Star Wars stuff all over the place. You know what I mean? So probably Star Wars would be my number one, but there'll be there's a list of some other movies. Scarface. Oh my God. I freaking love Scarface. You know, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to nail one. But if you told me, okay, you just one, Star Wars, I'm good right there. I can die with that one in a loop, and I'm good. Let's see. I just heard a story that P. Diddy has to pay Sting $2,000 a day for the rest of his life for the Every Breath You Take remake. Talk about getting paid. I didn't know that, but wow. Okay. Well, he won't have that pretty soon. He's going to be so broke. He's going to have so many lawsuits, so many lawyers' fees. All his products, nobody's going to buy them. He is so and it's a beautiful thing. Karma is just an awesome thing to experience. It really is. Karma is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. How about a favorite actor? Hackman, Pacino? I mean, can't lose with either one, man. Ray goes, Shawshank has to be the best movie of all time. What am I going to do? Argue with you? I mean, it's a perfect movie, bro. You know? But so is The Godfather, and, you know, and so is Jaws, and so is Star Wars, and, you know, in my eyes, at least. There's a lot of great movies, man. It's tough. That's a really, really tough one. I think you're almost better off putting them in categories and genres, you know, or decades or something. I don't know. But you've got to break it down a little bit, because it's too many movies over a long period of time, you know, for those of us that have lived a little longer than normal. Anyway, we thank the great Sean Stanley, who masters this program. We thank David Furones and Manny Navarro. If you missed them, they'll all be podcasted, video, audio. We thank all of you out there that have tuned in. If you hit the like button, thank you. Visit our amazing sponsors. If your business wants to be a part of our platform, call us, 786-754-4664. We can broadcast anywhere in the country, in the world. You bring us, you take us there, we'll be there broadcasting there live. So join us there, 786-754-4664. You want to be a sponsor in our football season for the Dolphins broadcast, 786-754-4664. We will see you tomorrow at noon. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.